I'm Kat.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy.
A tipsy night class teaching the oddities and curiosities you never learned in school.
What are we drinking for this learning journey, Hayley?
Wine, of course. It's wine for the rest of time. I'm not going back.
I am so happy to have wine tonight after not drinking anything but water last episode.
I thought you were going to say after not drinking all day.
That too.
For some reason, I just thought that that's what you were going to say.
That too. Today was easy, but really frustrating. And so I'm glad to have wine at the end of it.
We're whining about it.
I will continue. This is my podcast. I can whine as I want to, as we've said before. And I'm going to.
And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. My White Claws that I bought back in like April are officially gone.
Wow. Actually, no, they're not. Because I have a White Claw of yours in my fridge.
What?
I know. It's been blending in with the cans of Celsius, so I haven't noticed it until today.
I've been drinking Celsius now, too, ever since you said something, because I've seen it around. I've seen it at the gym, and it's kind of scared me because I don't really do energy drinks, but it got the cat endorsement. I don't know if I should listen to the cat endorsement or not.
Probably not. I'm not the healthiest of people.
I did. And I really, really enjoy it. So maybe there are actually still White Claws left. I don't know how. It's like this never ending batch of White Claws, but I've moved on. We're broken up. I'm on to Nighthawk Black.
I'm glad you're on to Nighthawk Black. And one more note about the Celsius is I drink Celsius every morning because I ran out this weekend and I went to Starbucks and got a normal coffee. Yeah. And I was so tired all day. I have become accustomed now to a certain level of caffeine, and now my body needs it.
I think that has also happened to me. It's scary. I brought 2 mugs of coffee to work today, and I hate that for myself because I put in creamer in there too, and I know that that's not always good for you with the flavors, but I don't care. It's just so good. At this point, I'm drinking it for the flavor.
And I mean, you put what? Like a tablespoon of creamer? What's that going to do? That's nothing.
In the grand scheme of things.
No, don't say that. It's one little speck of your food for the entire day. That's what I mean, I feel like every single day you look on Facebook and someone's saying there's like carcinogens in something. Well, fuck you. I'm going to die anyway.
Might as well be of cancer.
No.
There are carcinogens in so much. Like the FDA doesn't do shit.
No. I mean, any dye you eat, there's like, and my feeling is we all eat it. Like, unless you're like living off the grid, you're eating dyes and caffeine and shit. Like, may as well just fucking keep doing it. We're all gonna die someday.
I came across this TikTok. It's like apple cider vinegar TikTok where these people are bathing in apple cider vinegar, like drinking cups of it per day. And people are raving about it. They're like, my skin has never looked better. I've lost 10 pounds. And I'm like, even if I wanted that for myself, I don't think I could do it.
I used to be one of those people that drank apple cider vinegar every day and had like a pill box full of supplements and drank green smoothies. And you know what I had? An eating disorder. So I'm glad I don't do that anymore.
So I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh wait, I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a starter pack for 2010s.
Apple cider vinegar is a slippery slope to you know what. I don't want to trigger anyone again, but yeah. I'm glad I eat red dye now.
It tastes so much better than apple cider vinegar ever will.
It really does. Actually, apple cider vinegar does taste good. I used to put it in grapefruit juice.
What? No.
You mix in a little bit. Like you mix in like a tablespoon with like 12 ounces of grapefruit juice, and it's really good.
There's something wrong with your taste buds. I swear. I don't get you at all.
I think my dad and I, and maybe my brother too, have like dulled taste buds because like I put like a shit ton of like way more than a normal person, like salt and spices and vinegar and shit into my food just so I can taste it.
Yeah, I knew there was something wrong with you when you put salt on chicken nuggets.
It needs flavor. Everything needs more flavor than it comes with. You put salt and pepper and red chili flakes and sriracha and ranch on everything.
On everything.
And garlic. Just add in your entire spice cabinet into all your prepackaged food.
There's a new kind of ranch at Kroger. It's like hot chili ranch or something.
That sounds good.
It's so good. It's so freaking good. That's the announcement I have. It's like my go-to ranch now.
That sounds amazing. And now I'm hungry. But we have mozzarella sticks for tomorrow for batch night.
I'm so freaking
I'm
excited.
Very excited.
I haven't met my cheese quota yet this week, so I'm gonna need like half a pound tomorrow.
I had have you ever like gotten those cheese boxes at Trader Joe's, and it's just like a box of like cracker cheese, like it's like a pre-sliced like little squares of cheese.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
I we didn't have anything in our fridge, and I was like, well, I need to bring something to eat at work. And so I just grabbed like that box of cheese and brought it to work and put it on my desk, and I was like eating that all day, and all my students were like, is that a box of cheese? I was like, yeah, and what?
What about it?
What do you have to say about it? You're eating the fucking school lunch with probably so eating the cream cheese out of the tube. How's this any different?
Cheese is the ultimate snack food. I mean, really the ultimate anytime food.
Yeah. Someone said, don't you eat a lot of cheese? Like to me the other day, like we were like talking, and I was offended for a second. I was like, how is this what I'm known for? And then I realized they're absolutely fucking right, and I'm proud.
Yeah. I mean, you only have so many options that are quick and easy to pick up as a vegetarian, I feel like, at the store.
Yeah.
And cheese is pretty safe.
It is. It's a safe food for sure. Yeah. All right, this was cheese talk.
Yeah. Welcome back to Night Classy.
We're back. I have nothing in my notes to talk about. No conversation topics. We did have cocktail hour. That was fun.
That was so freaking fun. Hayley, not me, a different Hayley. One of our patrons brought her mom. Shout out mom, because that's what we're calling her now. She's Night Classy's mom.
Yes, because Lord knows our own moms don't listen to this.
They sure do not.
And if they do randomly on this episode, I'm going to hear about it.
I'm going to be so pissed. I will be mad.
Well, this is, again, the test. If they listen.
It is.
They'll know. I know my stepmom listens.
Stepmoms don't count. It has to be 100% mom.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, maybe your stepmom counts.
But yeah, she came and she wore a sweatshirt. What did it say? Like rosé something? It was a wine themed sweatshirt, which I much appreciated.
She fit right in. So gold stars, extra points for everyone who brings your mom, dad, loved one, friend. Come to cocktail hour. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was. It really was fun. And we had some new faces. It was a good time. Come hang out with us on Patreon and help fund our lives.
At all tiers, you can join us over there. So it starts at $5 per month. There's way more benefits than just cocktail hour. We just started our extra credit. I'm very excited to start.
And that's a weekly show.
Weekly. You guys don't get enough of us already.
We do a lot. Yeah. Join us on Patreon. There's a lot of things. There's something for everyone. And we have fun over there. So just to do it, give us all your money. We like money.
We do. We really do.
It makes us want to keep doing this. It's a really good incentive.
Nothing else motivates us but the money.
No, we're
totally
teasing. We're teasing just a little bit, kind of.
Half teasing. It's like teasing. We'll be happy either way. Again, we'll be happier for, we don't know.
This week I paid my horse's board bill and then his vet bill and then my car didn't start, and I also still have a busted window. So I like the Patreon donations. It's really helping me out right now.
We're trying to make sure it's worth it too. Of course, we have our trivia that we do monthly. We go back and Alec gets the joy of re-listening to our episodes and quizzing us. And we also have a list bitch. I'm really excited for my list bitch this month.
I haven't even started thinking about my list bitch, but I know it's going to be good.
List bitch.
I know. I've been too busy being a reach bitch. I have a good story for you today.
Oh, well, should we get started?
Yeah, are you ready to hear it?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
I blew a .039.
And I blew a .000. I don't know how, though.
Which means I go first. All right. So in 2021, very recently, an idea was floated around the UK government. And this idea was to pay anyone who tested positive for COVID-19 £500. Like, here you go. And this was meant to encourage people that, like, if you got COVID, you would stay home and isolate. It would supposedly, make up for lost wages. So you're not like, I'm not going to test and I'm going to keep going to work because I'm going to lose money. It makes sense, right?
Was that the rule, like the agreement? If you got that money, then you would stay home?
Well, I think it was to encourage people to test, because if you think you have COVID, you might be afraid to test because then you'll have to miss work if you're positive. It was a good idea. Only what if it had the opposite of the intended effect? As soon as this idea was announced, people started joking on Twitter that the English government was buying people PS5s and all you had to do was infect yourself with COVID-19.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And so, like, they never actually followed through with this policy. People actually probably weren't going to purposely infect themselves with COVID. But what if they did? What if this plan really did backfire into the opposite of what was supposed to happen? This is called the Cobra Effect, this concept of a government policy having the opposite results. And it's an economic theory that states that incentives like these that seem good, when you put them into a complex system and people are going to be people, a lot of times they have these negative unintended consequences.
Like the trickle-down theory. It works.
No, it doesn't. And there are historical examples of government policies backfiring spectacularly. Yes, like Reaganomics, as you so kindly brought up just now. I'm having my students do a project where they are researching the policies of various presidents and rating them on a scale of -10 to 10 and then finding the average. And they're going to come up with who they think is the best president.
That's such a fun
based
project.
on their statistics.
I'm
want
very
to be
excited in your class. On your good days.
Yeah. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how much trust I have in middle school students to do this effectively, but I'm going to be there to guide them along in the process, and we're fingers crossed it goes well. Anyway. So one historical example of the Cobra Effect is the Great Hanoi Rat Massacre of 1902.
I'm immediately scared.
You should be. Warning, if you are sensitive about animals getting hurt, this is probably not the lesson for you. I won't be graphic or anything, but rats obviously do die in the rat massacre. So I felt like I had to give a heads up. It's not super cute what happened to these rats. Here we go. France solidified control of Hanoi, Vietnam in 1896, and Hanoi was part of what was called French Indochina, which is a collection of French colonies in Southeast Asia composed mainly of modern-day Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. In 1897, Paul Doumer was appointed by the French government as the new Governor General of French Indochina.
Can I get some French with my French fries?
I want some ranch with my French fries. Governor General of French Indochina. And previously, he had been the French Minister of Finance, but he sucked at his job. He failed miserably. He botched the income tax system. And I think they were like, well, let's just send him to Vietnam and then he'll just be out of our hair. We'll hope for the best. The French obviously did not respect French Indochina. Before French occupation, Hanoi had 36 streets and each one was devoted to a specific craft or industry. It also had a citadel, a fort, several temples, and pagodas. It was a pretty bustling town. There was a lot going on there, but despite all this, the French considered it, essentially an uncivilized collection of jungle villages.
Yeah,
they were racist.
Of course.
Yeah. So being the new governor, though, Dahmer was like, I really want to change this perception. I want to clean things up a little bit and modernize Hanoi, at least the French quarter of it, where all the French people lived, right?
Jesus.
So it's a tale as old as time. He started building new buildings, but there was one piece of infrastructure that got a lot of attention. Doumer, like many people at the time, believed that toilets and indoor plumbing was the shining symbol of civilization and modernity. So Doumer and his colleagues set out to build a vast sewer system beneath the French side of town, also known as the French Quarter, and to a lesser extent, a smaller one under the crowded indigenous Vietnamese side.
That is such a huge undertaking. What an ambitious way to start.
They pretty much had, like, it seems unlimited money. Like, they were building these massive buildings, like, from the ground up, essentially a new French side of the city. And they were able to build this sewer system. An expert historian on the topic, Michael Van, called the sewer system on the Vietnamese side of town, quote, hardly more than a drainage system. And it emptied straight into the Red River and flooded the streets with human waste during the rainy season. So, of course, they were like, fuck the actual local population.
Yeah.
We're going to build this for the French colonists. Dahmer really wanted a toilet in every home of every French colonist living in the wealthy, tree-lined French Quarter, which stood in stark opposition to the indigenous side. Dahmer's government achieved this goal by laying 9 miles of sewage pipes under the city of Hanoi. So they really did it. And everything seemed good, at least for the French people, except for one unforeseen problem.
Oh, no.
With its warm weather and plentiful fruit trees, rats had always had a major presence in Hanoi. And in building the sewer system, Dahmer gave the rats a cool, dark, subterranean paradise where they were completely free from the above-ground predators. The rats lived and multiplied in the tunnels at unprecedented rates.
It's Rat City.
He built them a rat city.
Rat City, bitch. Rat City.
It was the rat quarter. And a single rat can produce 5 litters of babies every year.
What?
And each litter can have as many as 14 pups.
Whoa. Okay, I did not know that. I feel like I should have.
Yeah.
That's not common rat knowledge for me. I try not to think about them reproducing, I guess.
I think I'm the same way, which is why I don't know exactly what age they like are able to start reproducing, but I imagine it's
Probably
around
soon.
a year. Yeah, when they're pretty young. So the population just exploded in these underground sewers, which weren't there before. Like before, the rats had to run around on the street and get eaten by like birds and monkeys and raccoons, I don't even know, dogs, whatever animals they have in Vietnam. I'm sorry for my ignorance. But there were predators up above. Down low, no predators. So they're running around the rat town.
The rats are running the city.
At least underground. But when they got hungry, because there's not a ton of food underground. I mean, they do have sewage waste and bugs, which they probably liked. But
do you want poop or do you want to go above ground?
Sometimes you want to go above ground. And they had just built all these houses with toilets connected to the sewer. So when they were hungry, they just crawled through the toilets of the wealthiest, most elite homes in Hanoi straight into the people's houses.
Did anyone's butts get bitten?
I'm sure they did.
That is my greatest fear. After seeing, like, have you seen those videos from people in Australia where a snake, like, comes through
Well, I used
toilet?
to live by Green Lake in Seattle, and we had, like, big drainage rats from the lake, and there were times, not our own house, but our neighbors would sometimes have rats come up through their toilets.
That is so scary because to me, the pipes just always have water in them. They're not accessible for things to walk through.
But
I guess
things
that's
somehow
wrong.
do, like spiders and shit come up. I don't understand how that works. I guess the water only drains in like when you're using it, when you flush it, and then it's just empty pipes. So I guess
I guess I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot too. I never really thought about it until just now. But yeah, things
I thought they were
come
just
up.
like always packed with water, and I'm picturing like the snakes swimming through it, you know. But
and
not
I mean,
the
snakes
rats.
can swim, and rats also can swim. So either way, they can do it.
So scary. Either
Nature
way.
finds a way. And not only are rats gross and scary, but they're also carriers of disease. In 1897, Dr. Paul Louis Simond discovered that fleas carried by infected rats transmit the bubonic plague to humans. And of course, we all know that, but where our story takes place, this is new information. And with this new information, the war on rats became a matter of life and death. Not only is it gross to have rats in your house, it can kill you. It can give you the bubonic plague. And I want to stress here that rat infestations had long been a problem in the poor parts of town, but now that it was affecting the wealthy colonists, they felt they had to do something, finally.
I'm kind of happy the rats did that.
Me too. And I did read one source that said, like, because the rats were coming into these houses, the bubonic plague was, like, having a moment here in the beginning of our story. But it was mostly localized to the French Quarter. So they were getting the brunt of it, which I feel is exactly what they deserved.
Yeah, it is. That's so scary, though.
Yeah, it really is. And so now they have to solve the problem. The colonial government put their heads together to devise a solution. The solution was to hire a bunch of native Vietnamese rat catchers. Their job would be to go down into the sewers every day and kill as many rats as possible. And so began the Great Hanoi Rat Massacre of 1902. The first week of the bloodshed occurred in the last week of April. In that week, 7,985 rats were killed.
That was not the number I was expecting you to say.
What were you expecting?
Like 700? Maybe?
Oh, well then hold on to your butt, because as the rat catchers gained experience, their skill and efficiency vastly increased.
I mean, I can't believe there were even any rats left. 7,000 rats?
The rat supply was basically infinite. Like, it was a true infestation. By May, so just the next month, the group was killing nearly 4,000 rats per day. And the numbers only continued to climb. On May 30th, 15,041 rats were killed in a single day. And in June, the average was 10,000 rats per day.
What are they using?
Unfortunately, we don't know.
What?
Yeah, I'll get to the sources in a little bit, but the records are super spotty. But what we do know is on June 21st, 20,112 rats were murdered in that one day.
That's my brother's birthday. I should text him. Be like, fun fact, birthday fact.
That is a fun fact. 20,000 rats were killed on your birthday.
Yeah.
That's
probably
cool.
more around the world too. Like, this is just such a remote location.
This is just a drop in the pond.
Probably more like 21,500.
The rats are, when you factor in too that the rats are probably killing each other.
They're fighting for their lives out there.
Yeah, they really are. It's like, if I kill the other rats, maybe I can be on the team with the people.
There you go.
And be their, like, dog rat.
You can sniff them out.
Mm-hmm. You can help.
It'll be an alliance, a cross-species alliance.
Yeah, you're like the sheep on the sheep farm who, like, is really sweet, and so they never, like, kill you, and then you're like friends with the people, and all your other sheep
This
get
is
killed.
reminding me, we played Dungeons and Dragons again this week, and there was this alliance between us and the goblins, and then the dungeon master killed off both of our alliances in the goblins.
What?
And everyone was like, no! It was very sad. I'm pretty deep into not Game of Thrones, Dungeons and Dragons.
That sounds really fun, and I can't believe you have never invited me to play Dungeons and Dragons with you.
It's not at my house, but I'm sure they'd be open.
So rude.
To inviting you.
So rude.
We'll have to get Nolan to come and host another game.
Yes, that would be fun. Anyway, here's an account from historian Michael Vann's paper on the massacre. Quote, one had to enter a dark and cramped sewer system, make one's way through human waste in various forms of decay, and hunt down a relatively fierce wild animal, which could be carrying fleas with the bubonic plague or other contagious diseases. This is not even to mention the probable existence of numerous other dangerous animals, such as snakes, spiders, and other creatures that make the author's skin crawl with anxiety.
What would they wear when they went down there?
Probably just their clothes. I mean, they were employing like probably the poorest of the poor to do this terrible job. And like I said, we don't know exactly how the rats were killed, but like, even without clear record keeping, we know that this job definitely sucked ass.
Yeah, it's really intense. You're going down there not only like just thinking of the labor and energy that it took to do that much. I can't imagine that they had a force of like 500 people.
They did have a lot of people. I don't think we know exactly how many there were, but I mean, to be killing 20,000 rats in a single day, they definitely had like a substantial number. And due to these worse than harsh conditions and pretty low pay, rat hunters began striking and quitting. Not only that, but even with the daily kill counts in the 5 figures, they failed to make a substantial dent in the rat population. Nothing happened.
How in the world are we? Is this some like alternate reality?
There were so many rats, Hayley. I don't think you understand.
They're ratting out.
It was like an ocean of rats.
No more water in the pipes. It's rats only.
Yeah, the rats, you like flush your toilet and rats just come out. Yeah. So the government moved on to Plan B. Plan B was a bounty system that offered any citizen the opportunity to cash in. Apparently, the French were trying to encourage an entrepreneurial spirit in the native Vietnamese population. So they were like, this is a great plan. It's a win-win. Like, we can start some industry and get rid of our rat problem. The government offered to pay 1 cent per killed rat, which is actually pretty good. I feel like back in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And they didn't want, though, to deal with piles of dead rats, right? Like, if you're bringing them into a municipal court to be counted, you don't want the rat corpses, which could be infested with fleas and disease. So they told people all you had to do to prove that you killed a rat was bring the tail. That's a little bit easier to manage.
Bring the tail. Yeah. And then they made combs, and that's how we get rat tail combs.
Oh my God. No, thank God.
The new fashion statement is to, instead of the like raccoon tails that we had, like the emo kids, they had rat tails. You just like clip them in.
Ew, it is like a real rat tail.
Yeah, it's just
gross.
Hanging
like,
back there.
It's like when some people are born with like a vestigial tail and it's like a little pink tail, and people are just like, that's a cool thing to do, is just like pin a rat tail
That's
to
probably
yourself.
What it was like. This is the untold history of the rat massacre.
Yeah, they just started a whole fashion trend, and those records have been completely lost. All we're left with is this. We missed the good part.
They were purposefully lost. They did not.
Yeah, they were so embarrassed of
this
this trend. They had raccoon tail hats and shit, rat tail hats. Anyway, so you could bring in your rat tail to the municipal offices, and then your tails were counted, and the price would be paid. Quickly, tails started pouring in. Thousands of rat tails were collected in the first week, and the French officials felt that the program was a success.
But they don't see what it's like underground.
No, they don't see what it's like underground, but they don't care, right? The rats are dying. They're showing up maybe less in their toilets. That's all they care about. Until they began to notice a curious sight. More and more rats were being spotted around the city, running around, living healthy, carefree rat lives, only with no tails.
I was going to joke that, like, you can, a rat will grow from its tail. And
they just multiply like a worm. Can you cut a worm in half? It's 2 worms. Yeah.
This is how we got hamsters.
Yeah, it's just tailless rats. So at first people really were killing the rats, but it didn't take long for them to realize that it's a better business practice to simply cut off the tail and then release the rat back into the wild so it could produce more valuable tails. They were just being entrepreneurs like the French wanted all along.
I love that for them.
Me too. I'm happy for them. And not only that, but reports began to surface that people were smuggling in rats from outside the city, not just for their tails, but also as breeding stock.
They don't need to do all that. That's a bit too far.
But they do. A cent per tail is a pretty good price. And the rat population was now growing. And it really seemed like things couldn't get worse until health inspectors made a shocking discovery. In the countryside of Hanoi, a new type of farm was starting to pop up.
No. A rat tail farm.
Yep. Rat farms. People were breeding hundreds and thousands of rats for the purpose of selling their tails to the French.
What is the gestation period for a rat?
Probably really fast if they can have 5 litters per year.
A week.
Yeah. So it was a great business model. People, I think, just had sheds and just filling them with rats.
Do rats make milk?
No. What? There is a movie where they milk a rat. Or a cartoon, maybe. Yeah, they definitely make milk. I don't know.
Because I've never seen rat nipples, but now I'm wondering about
they
how
do have milk.
Their babies get fed.
They get fed through the rat nipples and the milk.
I guess I just don't ever think about rats.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't have a reason to, thankfully. They probably do make milk, but it's definitely not worth it to milk a rat, I would think. It's
definitely not worth it to think about.
I do feel like I recall maybe a cartoon on Nickelodeon, like having like milking rats, and I remember being really disturbed by it.
That seems more like a Cartoon Network
Maybe
thing.
It was Cartoon Network. I remember that from my childhood. There was like, they were like had a rat milking operation and something, and I was disgusted.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
And I want to see it for myself.
Luckily, they weren't milking the rats. They were just cutting off their tails and selling the tails, which also horrific.
A much better alternative.
Right. So much better. So officials saw this and they were like, fuck. The plan was entirely scrapped and they gave up on trying to control the rat population altogether. Obviously, this wasn't good because now the rats were left to breed in the sewers fully unchecked. And now also all these former rat farmers now were left with a bunch of useless animals that they now just let go, further swelling the rat population.
Oof.
This all led to a large bubonic plague outbreak in 1906.
Naturally.
This outbreak resulted in 263 human deaths.
Whoa.
Yeah. And sadly, most of them were Vietnamese. Dahmer, however, remained safe and returned to France, where he was praised as the most effective governor Indochina had yet.
What? Do they know about everything that happened, or is he just like reporting back lies?
He did build a lot of buildings, so he was praised for his infrastructure and bleeding the native population dry with taxes.
Yeah, that's fair. They're like, you're a true colonial.
Yeah, you're a terrible guy and like
a pioneer.
And they didn't give a shit about like people getting the plague and dying from rats. Like, as long as he was sending them money back in France, like, they didn't care. And the whole rat thing was pretty much forgotten about. He ended up being elected the president in 1931 in France.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. He had a like real comeback.
He really did. And the rat situation was just never talked about. It was lost to history. It may have been fully forgotten if it weren't for a man named Michael G. Vann, who was researching and going through archives for his doctoral dissertation in 1995. And he stumbled across a strange primary source titled The Destruction of Hazardous Animals, rats. And he was like, what's this? And in it was a file of just random records from the French Indochinese government detailing the rat massacre.
That, I feel like, is a moment in time where you wonder if you are in an alternate universe.
Right.
You're like, did I just plane jump?
Yeah. And I mean, how exciting is it? Because historians spend their whole career looking for something interesting to write about.
Yeah.
And like, it's all just like boring documents about tax collecting. And then suddenly you have this gem.
You have the rat massacre.
You have the rat massacre. It's so exciting. It's how I feel researching for Night Classy every week. When I found the rat massacre, I felt like Michael Vann.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine the excitement for this story. This is phenomenal.
It was very exciting. And I feel like this is the squirrels 2.0. The rats watched so the squirrels could run for killing rodents. Yeah, I'm sorry.
For talking about killing rodents.
Yes. I don't kill rodents myself.
Teaching on it.
Yes. Vann points out that the Hanoi rat massacre is a real-life example of the Cobra Effect, which I brought up at the top of the lesson. The Cobra Effect was named after a supposed similar incident in British India, only theirs was cobras instead of rats. Only, unfortunately, there's no evidence of this ever actually happening, which is why Van believes it should be called the rat incident instead. Or
it probably
the rat effect
did happen, and they could have just easily destroyed all the documents.
Maybe, or it could be a myth. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no basis for this, but I feel like maybe cobras do have a longer period for reproduction.
I have no idea.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I have no clue either.
I know nothing about cobras, and I didn't realize you did.
I just know there's snakes, and snakes lay eggs.
And snakes are scary.
They're not scary.
They're a little scary.
Some are scary.
A cobra is scary. A pet snake, not scary. But a snake that in the wild, that's scary.
Yeah, you have to be smart about snake ownership. I don't want to see a snake in the wild under any circumstances.
Whenever you're not, have you ever not been expecting a snake and you reach for something and there's like a snake next to your hand?
Okay,
that's scary.
That's scary.
Yeah. They're scary.
I like it. They're so powerful in how they put fear into people. I like it.
You need a pet snake.
I need a pet snake so freaking bad.
I know. I want that for you.
I've been waiting like pretty much my whole life. I did have pet snakes in elementary school. But
why don't you get a pet snake?
I don't think Tommy would go for that. I think
it wouldn't affect him.
A lukewarm no. So maybe I could talk him into it. If we can't get the cat, then we could get a snake, and it would be all on me.
Yeah. You could get a snake and keep it at work. It could just sit on your lap while you type.
Yeah, it would be warm. It would just stay under my clothes.
Yeah, they like to just sit like on your shoulder. And when you bring in kids for testing, they might like to see your snake.
Something tells me that the parents would be like immediate no, because so many people here in Memphis don't like dogs.
That's true.
That I feel like a snake, they would sue me.
Maybe. I mean, you'd have to bring it up carefully. Like, show them a picture of your snake, gauge their response.
Yeah, this isn't a snake, it's a snake.
It's a snack.
It's different.
It's a fruit roll-up. Spicy one.
You know my friend Emmy?
Yeah.
She has snakes, and she was posting on her Instagram story. She's like, okay, so I couldn't find my one snake. It's a white snake, a beautiful snake.
She lost it?
She lost it, and her window is open. And she's like, surely it didn't escape out the cage and go out the window.
What?
And her next Instagram story is the snake slithering on the roof, and she had to go. She had to go out her window and retrieve her snake.
What
her
the
snake,
fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is shit that would happen to Emmy.
I know. It's so Emmy. I'm sure, Emmy, you're listening right now. So shout out to you, Emmy. Best snake mom I know.
Oh
also,
my God.
Get a handle of your snakes, I guess.
Yeah. Put a collar on them. I don't know what you do with snakes.
A harness, not a collar.
A harness. Yeah. Oh my God. And little fake arms. That would be so cute.
That would be so cute. Oh my God. But I just died laughing at that Instagram.
God, that is so funny. She used to make that into a TikTok. It would go viral. Anyway, that was my lesson on the Great Hanoi Rat Massacre. My sources are The Curious Case of the Great Hanoi Rat Hunt by Alexander Hamer on realhistory.co. The Great Hanoi Rat Massacre of 1902 Did Not Go As Planned by Shay Mons on atlasobscura.com. The Great Hanoi Rat Massacre Wikipedia page. The Great Rat Massacre of 1902 and How It Backfired Spectacularly has eerie parallels with COVID-19 by James Felton on iflscience.com. The Story Behind Hanoi's Rat Massacre of 1902 by Dung Fan on theculturetrip.com. The French Hanoi's Bizarre 1902 Rat Massacre Only Led to More Rats by Rose Heichelbeck on dustyoldthing.com. Those are my sources.
That's it? Is that all?
That's all. That's all. People really need to start titling their articles shorter names for my sake.
Yeah, they do. It should just be rats.
Rats bad. There were lots of them.
From ratsonly.com.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back. I don't know if you heard at the top of the show, but we have something called Patreon.
We sure do. It is not only there for us, but for you. When we started this podcast, we knew that we wanted to put extra content out there because we love creating the show for you all for free. But we also wanted to be able to level it up for people who wanted a little extra sauce in their lives.
So we created all kinds of extra content on our Patreon. We started out with substitute lessons where we would invite a friend or a local comedian on to teach us a lesson, and everything has just evolved from there. There is a backlog of substitute lessons as well as many of our new shows.
I think one of my favorite substitute lessons personally is the one with John Miller. He's a local Memphis comedian, and what's great is that the lessons vary as far as the topics go, but some people just come in and just talk, and it's so fun. You get Kat and I still, but you also get this extra voice in there, and we had a great time with those. I'm also really enjoying List Bitch. It has really evolved itself as well.
Yeah, List Bitch is so fun. We love doing list lessons where we just share lists of things. You guys have heard our list episodes.
It's like our typical lessons, but it's using a list. So like my favorite lesson or list, I guess, of yours that you did was the wacky, not rules, but laws from each state. That was so fun. And there was a lot of banter.
Yes.
It's just an opportunity for us to shoot the shit, I guess.
It's a good time, and that's at one of our tier levels. We also, for other tiers, we have other monthly shows like our trivia. We revisit old episodes. Alec asks us questions about these old episodes. You can play along. It's super fun. And for all of our tiers, $5 and up, we just introduced a new weekly show called Extra Credit, where if you're ever like, this Night Classy episode feels too short, like I really wish it went on a little longer, we stay after the episode and chat a little bit and each share a fun fact that we learned that week, and it's been awesome.
A little behind the scenes. Kat already said that she's excited for hers this week. It is not animal related. Her past ones have been. She was on a roll there.
Mine actually is animal related this week, just not horse related.
Oh, okay. So it's a step outside of the specifics of what your past was.
Yeah, I'm wading out of the pool slowly, but
yeah,
still animals.
Don't go too fast. It's like when you're a diver and you go up to the surface, too fast.
Yeah, you don't want to get whatever that's called. Well, if you would like some extra content and if you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/nightclassy and donate at a level that works for you. Aside from extra content, you can also at some levels choose an episode topic. You can get a free sticker, sort of free, I guess, if you want to cut it, however you want to slice it. You can have easy access to us. You can come to our cocktail hours. We have fun over there. So again, that is at patreon.com/nightclassy.
We will see you there. Welcome back, my friends, family, loved ones. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right. So Sarah Rachel Russell, better known as Madame Rachel, was a sought-after beauty guru in Victorian-era London.
Yes, I'm so happy we're going to the Victorian era today.
Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. Madame Rachel ran her own beauty salon, offering a variety of services which promised to lock in everlasting youth for her clients. You could enjoy, for example, her $160 magnetic rock dew from the Sahara Desert.
It was $160 in what, like the 1880s?
Era. Yes.
Oh my fucking God.
I don't even know how much that is now. Probably $1 million.
Yeah.
Literally. And no one actually knows what magnetic rock dew of the Sahara Desert means, but it was supposed to remove your wrinkles. And she told people that it was brought in from Morocco on, also I learned this word, dromedaries, which is just a very fancy word for one-humped camel.
Ooh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I like that it's from Morocco. That's probably like why she decided it came from there.
Yeah, she's like, if all the things.
In the name.
So women loved it. They came flocking to her salon because especially not only did they want the cosmetics, but Queen Victoria at the time had decided, I guess, just on her own volition, that cosmetics were uncouth and women were kind of left to either create cosmetics on their own or to go to places like Madame Rachel's.
What? I feel like there were lots of cosmetics back then, and everything had arsenic in it.
Yeah, they all had arsenic in it, but I guess Queen Victoria was like, you're vulgar if you wear makeup.
Oh, rude.
I know. Customers were wooed by Madame Rachel and her lush, flowing robes, jewels, and crystals. And the placebo effect. Some of her products were just water and bran, but most of her most used ingredients were prussic acid, lead carbonate, and the star of the Victorian era, arsenic.
Yes, arsenic.
They loved themselves some good arsenic.
I kind of want to try it.
I want to try it one time.
Yeah, just it won't kill me just once.
It's not like meth. Like,
no.
Maybe once.
I probably won't get addicted to arsenic, but like I gotta know what the hype is for.
It was everywhere. Everyone used it, like for everything too. I think that that's what makes it so crazy to me, is that it wasn't just face powder. They used it in paint. They used it in lips, like just all the things.
What was so good about it? I have to know.
I don't know. Maybe it smells really good.
Ooh, what if it tasted like cherries?
Ooh, okay. Well, let's fuck around and find out.
Okay.
Where can we buy arsenic?
I don't know, but
Amazon probably sells
probably.
it.
If not, AliExpress.
Yeah. Oh, Madame Rachel's Hallmark service. I'm sorry, my eyes are struggling. I went to the optometrist and they finalized my prescription, but I think he just did not get the right eye correct. So I'm seeing double in my right eye, and especially towards the end of the day, I can't reach it.
You need to put an eye patch on you.
Oh my God.
You have bangs now. Maybe you could grow one side of your bangs like down far enough to cover your eye.
Oh my God, I would live my true emo fantasy.
That's true. We just need to make them side bangs.
Go full scene girl. Do you think I would get fired if I was like a scene kid, like 2008 scene?
I don't think. I mean, Tennessee is a right to work state, so legally they probably could, but I don't think they would.
I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I think they'd be like, that's Hayley. She's weird, but nice.
Yeah. She does her job. She turns things in on time. That's all we need.
Yeah. Ignore the rat tail.
They'll just put you behind a screen like the Wizard of Oz when you do face-to-face work with people.
They get some like animatronic thing that I control.
Yeah.
That's not scary at all.
Kids love puppets.
Yeah. Anywho, Madame Rachel's Hallmark service was something called enameling. And this is when she would remove all of the hairs from a woman's face and then wash it with an alkaline wash, which is, I guess, the equivalent of what we use to scrub toilets with these days. And they did that in order to lighten their faces. So just...
I mean, I do that every day.
Burn... That's why you look like that.
No, but I dermaplane and then I put witch hazel all over my face.
Every day?
No, maybe once a week.
Madame Rachel also regularly blackmailed the women who came to see her because she's, charging these outrageous prices. And something tells me that she was not stating the prices up front. So when...
Oh, you get it done and then she'd be like, it's expensive as fuck.
$160, please. I hope you just won the lottery.
Yeah.
And so women would be like, I can't pay you all up front. So she's like, that's okay. And she would offer them credit. And then she would extort them for their jewelry, which is how she got so many jewels that she wore all the time.
She's like the freaking mafia.
She is. She did a lot that I'm not going to get into all here. Eventually, she was under legal fire for malpractice and extortion and was even accused of providing abortion pills.
Good for
which
her.
Is good for her. And running a brothel. But it was a no-no back then. And Madame Rachel was being prosecuted after that, after being accused of all of those things. She ended up dying in jail in 1880. But fear not, there were other beauty gurus across the pond who were just getting started at this time. Enter the Seven Sutherland Sisters. Before any beauty industry success, the Sutherland children grew up on their family's turkey farm in Cambria, New York.
I can't decide if I want to live on a turkey farm or if I don't.
I'm
Probably
gonna say
don't.
Absolutely not. No, thank you. I've never liked turkeys. You don't eat meat. I eat meat. I don't love the taste of turkey. I don't think they're cute.
I like live turkeys are cute. Turkeys are actually good pets.
They're not
They
cute.
They are. Have you ever met a pet turkey?
No.
They're sweet.
Are they sweet?
They are. They're nice. Which is why I probably wouldn't want to live on a turkey farm because I don't think they're raising them as pets.
No, they're not. These turkeys were probably raised okay since it was, before all the crazy industrialization.
Farming, yeah.
But nonetheless, they had 7 girls. Sarah, Victoria, Isabella, Grace, Naomi, Dora, and Mary, and 1 boy named Charles. They were raised for a bit by their mother, Mary, and their father, Reverend Fletcher.
What if it came out that these were all just turkeys wearing clothes?
That would be absolutely insane based off of what I know. While the girls were shepherding the turkeys, often barefoot and in raggedy old clothes, their father was out, quote, spreading the good news and politicking. He was, what's that fancy word for when you try to force your religion on other people?
Evangelize.
Yeah, he was evangelizing. And he let the women do all the work, which is is it progressive or is it neglectful? I don't know.
Depends on how you want to look at it. Also, speaking of evangelizing, Alec and I have already started watching Hallmark movies, Christmas Hallmark movies all the time.
Yeah.
And we watched one last night about these 2 people on a mission trip and they felt and it's around Christmas and they fell in love. It was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I hated every second of it. But for some reason, we watched the entire thing. We watched, Hayley, I swear to God, we sat on the couch from 7 to midnight yesterday watching Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah, we watched God Winked, a movie.
Why did you choose that?
God Winked, we didn't choose it. It came up on the Hallmark Channel.
We didn't choose it. It happened.
It happened to me.
Which was about 2 hours long, and then we watched God Winked 2.
Yeah, there's an entire series.
And it was the second one that was super religious.
Yeah, the first one was actually pretty good. It was about a couple that dated in high school and then got back together as adults. But the second one was terrible.
That sounds terrible. I'm actually kind of impressed that you guys sat and watched it all.
How could you not love a bad Hallmark Christmas movie?
Yeah.
There's something so good about them.
I guess so.
And sometimes the worse they are, the better. But this one was just bad.
But the first one was good.
The first one was so bad it was good.
You saying that thing about the mission trip made me think of a conversation that I had within the past couple of months with someone who I don't talk to often, but they were telling me this story about when they were a kid, they wanted to go on a mission trip because their dad was going. He's a doctor and what is that? Doctors Across Borders, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was also a mission trip. And they had to raise $8,000 to even go. And I'm just sitting there thinking that $8,000 could do so many other things.
If you just gave people the money.
Give it.
Yeah, it's self-serving.
Yes.
99% of mission trips are just they're more about the person.
So sick.
Yeah. Doing it. Yeah.
Anywho.
We had that exact convo watching the movie.
Yeah.
Because we're they were giving these people envelopes of cash for this family's house that burned down, and they were go make their house more Christmassy.
Yeah, so they're taking these envelopes of cash and buying Christmas decorations for the family. It's give them the money.
Yeah,
they want the money.
We need a microwave.
Yeah. We need food for our baby, not this ugly, tacky Christmas decoration from Michael's.
I started decorating for Christmas this weekend.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait to go see
I
it.
spent $40 at the Dollar Tree, and I'm excited for you to see what I did with it.
You need to teach me your ways. I'm so bad at finding good Christmas decorations.
Well, here's what I did. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
So my Christmas tree is bare, but it's pre-lit, but it's kind of sparse. There's a lot of gaps in between the levels. So I bought a shit ton of tinsel from the Dollar Tree and a bunch of their fake flowers.
Your cats are going to eat that tinsel.
It's been going fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
Ghost
been no
would eat
issues.
it.
No
He
issues
loves
at all.
tinsel and ribbon.
And I just stuffed it all. My Christmas tree is all flowers and tinsel, and there's a huge bow at the top. Do you want to see a picture?
Fun. Yeah, I do want to see.
If you pull up a picture, will you show it to the camera too?
Yes, I will.
I think Alec and I are I almost called you Alice. I think Alec and I are just going to put like lights on our fiddly fig tree in our living room.
Oh, yeah. I got some little ornaments to put on our fiddly.
That's cute.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Oh, yeah. It looks good.
Looks really good.
For the camera, there's
perfect shot for the camera.
Yeah, that looks way better. I don't know what I was picturing, but I wasn't picturing that.
Yeah, I was picturing it as like almost Hawaiian flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to stick to a certain color palette. I'm trying to go really over the top, but not tacky like traditional Christmas this year. I'm trying to just every day do a little bit at a time. I'm cutting out a bunch of snowflakes and shit this year, as I always do. Yeah.
Our Christmas decorations is just the Hallmark Channel playing on our TV 24/7.
Your mind is decorated
that
way.
It's early though.
Thing. Yeah,
my thing is the old school big Christmas bulbs.
What?
Like no LED stuff.
Oh, like lights.
Yeah, like the ones that are hot to the touch.
The fire hazards.
You accidentally get the 2nd-degree burn just by walking past it.
Yeah, just by looking at it wrong.
Do you still have any? I know you put them up at the old house.
They all were broken, so I threw them away.
Yeah, that's fair. You can always buy more.
Yeah. Well, we can't even put up Christmas lights really. We live in an apartment.
You can put them around your little pillars.
Yeah, and we can frame the window.
That's true. We could.
Just line all of your walls with the lights. Just make it an experience.
The thing is, I then enjoy the vibe so much that it's like feels empty when you take it down.
Yeah, it's true. Which is why you got to put them up early to make it last as long as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Day after Halloween.
I'll go get some lights.
Go
do it
now.
We should be done recording by the time you get back.
Yeah, we can engineer from here.
Speaking of which, we can announce the new cocktail for the December Christmas or holiday special.
Can we? I don't think we have one yet.
We got it.
We do?
When you were in the restroom, Hayley and I.
What? These are the decisions that need to be made as a group.
Okay, you got to decide and make the recipe. This is no longer a group decision. We have hijacked the Patreon cocktail hour drink decision. Sorry.
The decision was made for us.
Yeah, it's Hayley, our patron who
her husband.
Yeah.
I thought he sent us like a few different recipes though, or did
we have one?
Oh,
and we're like, this is it.
That's it.
We've got
let's hear it.
Peppermintini.
Okay.
1 crushed candy cane. 1/4 cup vanilla vodka with peppermint schnapps and white chocolate liqueur.
That does sound really fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Me too. Good. Yeah. I'm glad.
Cool.
Oh, goodness.
We figured that out.
So worried.
But you know what? If I wanted to be a petty bitch,
then you could have your own drink.
I could get mad at you and refuse to let that be the cocktail because I wasn't included in the decision making.
When the cocktail comes up, it's a different one, and everyone just knows that there was a fight after the recording stopped.
Yeah, I'm usually the one that has to go buy the ingredients, so I'm just gonna get ingredients for a totally different cocktail.
Well, I'll go and get the ingredients. That's fine.
Okay, go. Have fun rushing to do that after work.
I'll do it before the day of.
Wow.
But we wanted to make it a quick decision so people have time to get the ingredients.
Sure, that's why you did it.
Yeah. As soon as you left, I was like, okay, are you ready? Let's make the decision right now. Do we want the peppermintini or the peppermintini?
I want.
Are you actually mad?
Something else.
You look a little mad.
I am.
Yeah, you look a little salty.
Well, I can't wait to make a decision all by myself and not tell you guys and put it on the podcast.
Yeah, we ambushed you totally.
Yeah, you did.
We should be apologizing.
And now I have to pretend not to be mad so I don't come across as a petty bitch on the podcast. I'm totally kidding. I'm not mad.
I'm like actually worried now. I'm like, is she kidding?
No, I don't care. How many
times do you have to say? It's like when you go too far with something, if you say, I'm just kidding enough times, I'll know that you're not kidding.
Well, Hayley likes to do this fun thing where she says something insane with a deadpan face, and I think she's serious. And I'm doing the opposite.
It's talent.
I'm saying that I don't care, like laughing about it, when really, it's the opposite.
So you are mad.
And now I'm doing reverse psychology where I'm making you think I'm mad, but I'm not.
I don't like it here.
I think we gave the torch to Hayley's husband, who's a professional bartender, and said, give us your best. And he did. And so it's like, it is chosen.
Peppermintini.
Okay.
Check out Patreon to get the recipe.
It cuts to Patreon and it's like, we're doing the French Indochina Ratini.
Yeah, I just don't think this is fair to our lactose intolerant listeners.
Like who?
Me.
You eat so much cheese.
She just said she ate cheese for lunch.
Like cheese all day.
It's different when it's in liquid
different
form.
And you think vanilla liqueur is enough to trigger that?
White chocolate liqueur. Get it right.
She's like, I see, I even know the recipe better than you do. I care more.
I was listening.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm trying to teach a freaking lesson. I have no classroom management. Sorry. Yeah, we go on Patreon. It's like, we're now voting for peppermintini or pepper.
Yeah. Do you want the delicious, fun, good, cool cranberry vodka? Or do you want the bad, yucky, lactose intolerance inducing whatever you just said?
It's like in The Office when there's two different Christmas parties.
Yeah. I'm Angela's party and you're the fun party with the karaoke bar.
For sure. Mine definitely has brownies. That's it.
Well,
That's all
mine
you
is
need
the
to
one
know.
with brownies.
Oh, right. They go in there just to get the brownies.
Yeah. Get it right, Hayley.
I'm sorry.
Do you even watch The Office?
I don't even get my own reference.
I forgot it was tied to The Office, and I thought you were like relitigating a completely hypothetical scenario where you're like, no, I have the brownies in this hypothetical.
I have the brownies. Don't you know how much I love brownies and love to bake?
Yeah. I watched The Office so much that they're now my own memories, which I don't remember. Oh,
Meta.
Jesus. Well, anyway, let's go home. You don't need to hear any more from me. Right? We're good.
No.
Right?
I'm going to go drink my holiday drink of
Go drink your queso,
Bailey's and hot
bitch.
chocolate.
That sounds really good, too.
It does.
From now on, all of our cocktail hour drinks will solely be Christmas related.
Christmas drinks are the best.
They just hit different.
I was going to say we should have a magnetic rock dew of the Sahara Desert cocktail.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, we should. Just
you went to
DIY
bartending
it.
school? Make it.
Do it then, Alec.
So aggressive.
I'm like, Alec, you want to talk about it after the show? We can schedule.
Yeah, instead of I drove Hayley here, and like, what if instead of like riding home with me, she rode home with Alec, and they plotted against me in the show.
You're like, Hayley, I called you an Uber. I will not be driving you home.
Yeah, Hayley, you can take the bus.
I could walk home. It'd probably take like an hour, but it'd be fine.
You would not be safe.
That's true.
It is very dark outside.
But I could do it. It got dark at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, back to the Sutherland sisters, for goodness sake. So their dad, Fletcher, was always wanting more for his daughters, though, than turkey farming. He would showcase their singing in church with the hopes that they would get discovered, essentially.
That's the saddest when people are trying to get discovered.
Yeah, it's like, just let it happen organically. Like we're doing.
Yeah, you don't. It's very rare to just get discovered. You need to go out and like try.
Girls, you need to go on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, get on American Idol. What are you doing with your life? Get on YouTube.
Yeah, they have no idea.
I just love the sentence. It's very rare to get discovered. You need to go on America's Got Talent.
At least put in that extra effort to get discovered.
You need to like admit that you're trying.
Because
you
if you're
can't just like walk around the mall flipping your hair and hope that a modeling agent sees you.
Yeah, and you can't just go to church with the hopes that a record label will want to sign you. That's embarrassing to just sing in public, in my opinion.
Never sing in public.
Unless you're, it's your concert. If I had it my way, no one would ever sing in public.
Me too. I hate concerts.
So you hate concerts?
Yeah, you have to stand.
I'd be really happy. Yeah, you do have to stand
and
because
you're
everyone
tired,
else stands
and it
you
goes
can't
so
see.
late. Yeah,
God. Meanwhile, the last concert we went to was Meg Thee Stallion when it was raining.
That was fun.
Literally 1 a.m.
But
that was a great memory.
That was the perfect concert because it was like 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, what a special time. Okay. Anywho, the mother, on the other hand, just wanted the girls to be happy and beautiful. and beauty at the time was based strongly on a woman's hair. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I've just had this like impulse to gulp air recently. I don't know why.
To breathe?
Yeah.
Do it, girl.
I've
Breathe.
been like fish gulping for no reason. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So their mom's name was Mary, and she believed that this tonic that she made would make the girls' hair grow super long and luscious and make them fabulous. And granted, it did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's mine?
Well, you can probably get some, but it will not be the same recipe.
Hayley, I think I've seen a picture of these sisters.
You probably have.
I have.
Did they have,
I saw like a
insane
little
hair?
like blurb about this. Yeah, they had friggin' long hair.
Yeah, long ass hair. Between the 7 of them, they had 37 feet of hair split between them. Long as hell. You can show the pictures whenever you want, Alec. The first one is just like the family all together, and the second one shows them from the back.
They're so fucking creepy. They're the creepiest. I love it.
Can you describe that?
Yeah, they're like all freaking ghostly pale with this dark brown
Well, it is
hair
black
that
and white.
goes down to their ankles, and they're all looking around at each other. There's so many sisters,
Yeah.
and they're all in black.
Yeah, they were fabulous. So the tonic did make their hair grow long and strong, and they had it going on. But unfortunately for them and everyone around them, this tonic smelled like shit. And their mom was applying it daily. So none of their classmates wanted to be around them. And they also just had some weird habits in general. Like apparently whenever visitors would come up to their cabin and their dad knew a lot of people, the girls would just hide in the tall grass and just watch the visitors.
That's relatable. I hated when my mom had friends over.
That's something you would do
I
for
would
sure.
hide.
But I'm like, that has to be pretty tall grass for them to be completely hidden. So they probably felt way cooler than they looked.
They were probably like peeking out of their hair like the Grudge girl.
Yeah, their hair could literally encompass their entire bodies.
Yeah.
So anyway, none of their classmates wanted to be around them. They were just kind of odd. And then their mom died in 1867. And of course, they were sad that their mom died, but they're also glad that the stinky serum died with her. And when his wife died, Fletcher was even more determined to launch his daughters into fame and financial independence. The Sutherland sisters and their one brother, Charles, picked up instruments and they started to learn how to play them. They would go around to churches, fairs, and community theaters around the county. When she was 13, Naomi Sutherland got some positive attention from local newspapers for her bass singing voice and her waist-long hair. But at the end of the day, people mostly started showing up at their like small county shows just to see their hair.
Okay. Were they like really bad at singing?
No.
Okay, good. I started a research on something and I'm like mashing it up with this in my mind. There were like these sisters who were like so bad at singing that like they were selling out concerts because people like went to like throw tomatoes at them. And when I was researching it, I like felt like there wasn't quite enough there for like an entire lesson, but it was like wild. And I was like, is this that?
What if it was just like all of my sources that I chose didn't mention that and it was the same thing?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
No, it seems that they were good and they did end up getting recognized for how good they were for singing. But at the end of the day, it was all about their hair. So they would show off their hair on stage for groups of people, but their fathers still had, 8 mouths to feed and the hair wasn't cutting it.
You got to eat a lot of like healthy fats in your diet to maintain that good hair.
Get some what's that horse shampoo that people use? Mane and tail. Do they actually use that for horses?
Yeah.
I used to use that in 7th grade.
It's mainly used for horses. People shouldn't probably use that.
The smell is so unique.
It is. Yeah. Reminds me of horses.
My hair was actually great in 7th grade. I need to go back to that.
Maybe it works. I don't
think
know.
It does. I need a mane.
Yeah.
The sisters made enough of the ripple with their singing that they started just performing without their brother Charles. They're like, okay, go do something else. We're on our own now. And they made their way to New York City in December of 1880. By 1881, in the summer, the girls were touring on the road. They went south. And like I said, they were decent singers and musicians. But the big bang of the show was when the sisters would let down their hair, which was uncommon at the time.
Yeah, people just had a fucking fetish for long hair.
Because it was something that you couldn't have, you know? It was like once you turned 18, it was custom for women to keep their hair up. You'd only let your hair down in private. So it's like basically they're flashing the audience
with their hair.
Yeah.
With their creepy fucking ratty hair.
But it looks so healthy too. Like I've never seen hair like that in my life.
Yeah, it is genuinely impressive.
I would love to know what tonic they used, and
I know. Do we know the ingredients?
Well, we don't know the original one, but there's something else coming.
Yeah, we're now looking at a photo that looks like 7 cousin It's from the Addams Family.
Yeah, like their hair is so like not just long, like it goes down to the floor, but it's wide, like it's thick.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you call that curling pattern that goes all the way down?
So I think they had curly hair, but they just brushed it out. So that's what it'll do. If it's wet and you do curly hair like that, it'll create an effect like that. So it just looks wavy, but if I had to guess, they had curly hair. And if you notice on either end, there's 2 girls sitting down. They made them sit down because they didn't have as long hair as the rest of them, and they wanted it all touching the floor.
That's embarrassing for them.
I thought they were just really short.
No, they made them sit down. They shamed them for not having hair long enough.
The girl in the middle is the queen.
The it girl. Yeah. The youngest, Mary, she was very beautiful. Everyone was like, she was the most beautiful of them all, but she was also crazy. Like she had some actual mental health issues.
No.
I'll touch on that a little bit. She did not get the care at all that she needed, obviously, because she was a woman and it was the 1800s, but it's what it's. So men and women alike wanted their hair. The older sister Sarah had the shortest hair at only 3 feet long. Victoria had the longest hair at 7 feet long. It would drag behind her as she let it down. And Naomi's braid was 4 inches thick.
Jeez. Do you ever wonder how long you can get your hair?
I do. I would love to find out.
Yeah.
I would have to make some drastic changes, I feel like, to my diet to really get it to grow and stay long.
That's true. I'm kind of in that phase now where like my hair is starting to get long to the point where it's bothering me. But then part of me is like, but I wonder how long I can get it.
Your hair grows really fast.
It does.
And it's looking super healthy and long.
Thank you. I feel like it stopped growing though. Like I feel like it's been the same length for a while.
No,
Okay.
it definitely hasn't. I was actually thinking today that it looked so long. Like even it's crazy when your hair is up in a ponytail and it's way past your shoulders still, you know?
Yeah, it is. I guess it is pretty long.
It is. It's hella long.
Okay.
And you know, once it gets past a certain point, you don't always notice how
That's
long
true.
hair is.
Yeah. And I feel like the back grows faster than the front.
It does.
So that's
it's more action back there. Yeah. I can't wait for my hair to grow though. It's like kind of damaged at the ends because of the balayage, and I was gonna wait to cut my bangs until it was long, but then I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
why wait?
I like the bangs.
Why wait? Thank you. The youngest, Mary, like I said, she was mentally ill her entire life, and the doctors literally told her family it was because of the weight of her hair pulling on her head.
Wait, what happened?
Jesus.
The youngest sister, Mary, the one who I said was mentally ill, they took her and the doctors saw her, but they were just like, her hair's just too heavy on her head. That's what's doing
The hair
it.
is eating her brain. It needs nutrients.
Yeah. Her scalp needs to see sunlight. I don't think you understand how important vitamin D is.
That is so funny. I wish I was a doctor back then.
And they still didn't cut her hair. That's the crazy
Worth
thing.
it.
Fans would also try to cut or steal the sisters' hair. And since there were 7 sisters, this added a layer of mysticism. Since it's a holy number, people really liked that. Eventually, agents and circus ringleaders reached out to the sisters. In 1882, the sisters signed a deal to tour with the W.W. Cole's Colossal shows, and by 1884, they joined Barnum and Bailey's Greatest Show on Earth. And as we learned in one of your lessons, I think we all know Barnum was kind of a creep, if not a certified creepster. He said they were, quote, the 7 most pleasing wonders of the world.
Okay. How old were they?
They were actually all like of age.
Oh, that's better.
By this time. Yeah. In 1882, Fletcher had an idea to capitalize on his daughter's hair. He was going to make a hair growth tonic based on the original foul-smelling sauce their mother concocted.
I'm shocked it took this long. Like, what were they doing?
He's a man, so it just takes a minute. Yeah. They couldn't think through all that hair.
Right. The weight of the hair was impeding
weighing
the thought.
them down.
Yeah.
But no one remembered the recipe for the tonic.
How?
You think
literally, how is that possible? They never saw their mom make it.
They were too busy shepherding the turkeys, Kat.
I bet it was turkey shit.
Ew. No.
Yeah, if it smelled like ass.
that bad.
Yeah.
Like, what else is going to smell that bad?
Exactly.
Is poop the answer?
I think so. Put poop on your hair and tell me what happens, everybody.
They did not assume it was poop. The men just came up with a recipe.
Yeah, they just made something up.
They just made shit up. Fletcher claimed that the tonic was bringing back his fight with his own male pattern baldness. He even put himself on the advertisement for this and was like, look, like, not only did it help me, but it helped with their credibility since it was a man on the advertisement.
Why would you put you, who has baldness, on the bottle when you have 7 girls with like feet of hair?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That makes
There's
no
a picture
sense.
of it. It's not the next one, but it's the one after. Yeah, there we go. You can see he's like bald and then he's not.
I guess if you're like marketing a line to men. Did they also have one with the women on it?
They did have one.
Okay,
That's the
good.
next one. It was called the hair grower and hair fertilizer.
They are so scary.
I know.
It looks like 7 women wearing blankets, but it's their hair.
Yeah, it looks like flowing water the way the light hits it. It's
like a cloak.
Yeah, it really was. They didn't even have to wear coats in the winter, I'm sure. That's a complete assumption. If they ever got a comb stuck in their hair, that would have been the real rat massacre.
What?
You know, like your hair gets all ratty.
Oh,
yeah.
You
You've
tease it
been
up.
doing that a lot today.
Have
like
I?
just repeating words like 7, 8, 9 times.
Wow, I didn't notice. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I like it, honestly. I think you should adopt it. It should be a pillar of your personality.
I think my brain is just moving slow, and I'm like, if I like repeat a word a bunch of times, it gives me time to think.
You're loading
of what I'm going to say next. Yeah.
Oh, geez. So Fletcher partnered with Harry Bailey for this tonic of the Ringling Brothers. And also Harry Bailey started courting Naomi, one of the sisters. So I did not know that until I researched this. Bailey founded the Sutherland Sisters Corporation and applied for a trademark in 1883. And from there, they set out to sell the shit out of this tonic.
Hell yeah.
To assure the public of the safety of the tonic, Fletcher sent a sample to a chemist, Dr. J.R. Duff, in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Ooh.
And he said, quote, having made a chemical analysis of the hair grower prepared by the 7 long-haired sisters, I hereby certify that I found it free from all injurious substances. It is beyond question the best preparation for the hair ever made, and I cheerfully endorse it.
How much arsenic did it have in there?
It actually did not have any arsenic, surprisingly.
Wow, how much lead?
It had 56% witch hazel.
Oh, hey, I know her.
Yep, you need to start applying it to your hair, I guess, if you really want to see how long it'll go. 44% bay rum.
What's that?
No clue. Should have researched it beforehand. Did not. A bit of salt. Magnesium. I feel like that's
just
not good, right?
Salt. Or I guess that's sodium,
No.
magnesium. I don't know.
I'm thinking of mercury.
Magnesium, yeah, magnesium's not bad. That's just a mineral.
And hydrochloric acid, which removed the yellow from the chemical reaction that
Hydrochloric
occurred.
acid is bad.
I assumed that, not all of it can be good, right? Like, it's the 1800s. It can't all be good.
I mean, it doesn't sound that bad.
It doesn't sound that bad. But the scalp cleanse, because they started selling more and more products, the scalp cleanse, the highest percentage of product in that was borax for your scalp.
Is it bad to put borax on your scalp?
I mean, I feel like it.
I feel like you
is.
wash your clothes with it.
Exactly.
Right?
You're going to put that right on your scalp. It takes like it takes like a second for things to absorb on your scalp and go right into your bloodstream.
Right into your brain.
Yes. You need to clean your brain out. Just use their scalp cleanse. It had borax, salt, Jesus Christ. How do you say this name? Quinine. I did it on the first time.
Good job.
Jesus. Canathrids.
I don't know what that is.
A, quote, irritating powder made from an aphrodisiac beetle known as the Spanish fly.
Ooh.
So
that sounds fun.
it's like scalp
Aphrodisiac for your scalp.
/ lube.
Then your hairs start having sex and reproducing.
Spanish fly is also what Cosby called the date rape roofie pill too. So I didn't want you, Kat, to say that on the record.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm sorry.
I did not know that either. Scary. So there's also bay rum in this, glycerine, rosewater, alcohol, and soap. They had great success with the tonic. By the end of 1884, they sold $90,000 worth of their hair tonic, hair grower / hair fertilizer, which is a fuck ton of money now.
Yeah.
They were like pretty much launched into crazy wealth. Bailey and Naomi married in 1885. They had 3 children, and then she died in 1893.
Of what?
Of, I don't know, life.
Yeah,
living in the Victorian area.
Her hair was so heavy, it strangled her brain.
Yeah,
it broke
she
her
couldn't
neck.
get up.
Yeah.
Fletcher also died in 1888, and then the sisters became part owners in the company because obviously they're women. They can't fully own the company.
Well, they're also owning it together, right?
Along with Bailey of Barnum and Bailey, because they, of course, started touring with the circus.
Right.
The product sold for 50 cents to 150 cents a jar. The average why am I getting so worked up? The average railroad worker was making $5 per week. So it wasn't like crazy expensive, but
it was like a fifth of
penny.
the salary.
Yeah.
Or like a tenth to a fifth.
Like it was definitely a more luxury product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their
Sorry.
marketing. Don't be
I'm
sorry.
so annoyed.
I liked it. Their marketing branded the beauty line to high society women. And like I said, they had to include a picture of Fletcher to ensure credibility. But the sisters did take part in the businesses. They came up with phrases such as, quote, remember, ladies, it's the hair, not the hat that makes you beautiful. So they were really hating on the hats.
Is that like a euphemism for your brain?
I did not think of that at all, but I love that. You can see it here in one of their advertisements. The lady has on this big.
I would argue that it's the hat in this case.
The hat really
is a very cool hat.
her over the top.
Yeah.
Or is that her hair? Maybe that's her hair up top and it's just the feather that's the hat. Her hair grew too fast. She couldn't keep up with the coloring of it. So the roots are white.
She has long roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sisters were traveling on tour for the circus, singing at concert halls, and doing live modeling sessions for their tonic and drugstore windows. They actually ended up getting banned from a street in New York because the street was so packed with their fans that no one could get through. There was a ton of traffic and it caused issues. So a judge was
God.
Get the fuck out.
Wow.
That did not hinder their business. They opened up shops in Chicago, Toronto, New York City, obviously, and Havana, Cuba. By 1890, they made, and this is in 1890 money, they made $3 million in sales.
It is so unfair that we weren't born back then.
Right. Now you have to be very techie and know a lot of math and shit to come up with like a crazy idea.
Yeah, we could have just grown our hair long.
We could
and
have
put random chemicals in a jar.
Turkey shit.
Yeah. This is just not right.
It's not right. I need to time travel. I'm mad. These sisters were the Kardashians of the time, in my opinion. Every move they made was news. Anything that they put out was instant collectibles. Their concert programs, their photographs, calling cards, postcards, and their hair. People were creepily obsessed with trying to clip off locks of their hair. One fan offered Victoria $2,500 to cut off all of her hair.
All of it?
All of it.
Sir,
Not enough.
You can have a piece.
Sure. And she did accept an offer to cut off a piece of her hair, a little baby strand, for $25 to a jeweler who, quote, suspended the hair in his shop window with a 7-carat diamond, like hanging out the end of it by a piece of the hair.
Wait, that's cool. I want to hang diamonds for my hair now.
Me too. I have a lock of your hair.
You do?
Well, maybe I'll put it on my Christmas tree. I could put it at the top with the bow.
Oh my God.
That'd be
be perfect.
Safdie has picked up that strand of hair in his mouth before.
Oh, he loves
He's
me.
Like very entertained by it. He's like, this is way better than the feathery bullshit cat toys you give me. This is the real shit.
Alec, do you still have the lock of hair I gave you?
Yes.
I'm still growing out the short piece from
Where
where
is
I
it
cut
now?
it.
How much?
I don't know, actually. I never noticed anymore. For a while, I was noticing it all the time. I'm sure I could find it, though.
Wow.
I look for it.
What a crazy... what was that lesson even?
It was hair art, Victorian hair art.
Right. Oh my God. So many good things stemmed from that lesson.
I thought I was so fucking funny making those locks of hair for you guys.
That was insane.
And now every time I get my hair cut, like for the last 2 years, they've said, what's that like chunk of hair missing?
Like,
and I have to
hair?
like make up a story about how I got gum in it because I'm too embarrassed to say I cut it out as a bit for my podcast.
No, getting gum stuck in the, like, that's the back of your head, Kat. That's way more embarrassing than having a cool ass podcast and being funny as fuck.
I guess, but I'd have to, like, I feel like it's really hard to explain to a stranger, oh, I have this podcast. And on my podcast, I talked about hair art. What is that? Okay, now I have to tell you that.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I thought it was a funny bit to cut out a piece of my hair and give it to my friends.
When you get into it, wow, you guys are just friends.
I know. I like stop myself as soon as my friend and boyfriend.
By the way, it's episode 34, hair wreaths and bullet journaling.
Yes.
I was screaming when you pulled that out. That was, I'm getting a boost of dopamine right now remembering it.
When I made it, I had to use super glue to like glue it down to the ribbon, and I got super glue all over my hands and it was sticking to the hair, and then I had hair super glued all over my hands. It was a whole thing.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
I'm just still so impressed that you did that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm impressed that you made me actual hair art that now like sits on my mantle and I look at it every day.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm impressed too. It was kind of hard to learn at first, but
it looks amazing. You did a good job.
Thank you. I should have incorporated some of your own hair into it, but that's what
woulda, shoulda, coulda.
I'm gonna give you hair art every year, and then eventually Alec is gonna stop being my friend because I keep giving you guys hair art.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already requested that I take it down
I've
off
heard.
display.
Yeah.
But
Why?
I refuse. It's going to stay up there.
We just have different tastes. You know, possum skulls and hair art aren't really my cup of tea.
But it's like, it's neutral colors.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty chill. And you don't know it's hair art unless you know it's
I'm
hair
a
art.
minimalist. She's a maximalist. And I think splitting the diff, we're going to find a nice taste of our own.
I get 1 possum skull, 1 hair art, and 25 crystals, and you can have the rest.
Yeah, you need a 25 crystal minimum.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to see how your decor progresses from here.
We make a lot of compromises.
Me too.
All right. Well, anyway, the extravagance for the sisters just expanded as their fame grew. In 1893, they ordered the construction of a mansion so they could all live together forever.
I love that. Can we all buy a mansion together? You, me, Tommy, and Alec?
No.
That's rude.
By the way, I checked the inflation. 3 million in 1890 is 97 million now.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So they could buy a big house.
Yeah.
You know, I would do a duplex with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do
separate
a connected
doors,
mansion.
separate kitchens.
Yeah, but like
definitely separate kitchens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we could have like a
Accessibility.
mutual, like a
shared backyard.
shared backyard. Maybe like we have our own living rooms, but there's also a shared living room.
Yeah, there's like a theater room.
Yeah. Ooh, a movie theater.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what happens when you live together for 3 years and then you've spent 6 months not living together.
It's so sad. And
It
then
is.
the top could be a deck like patio that could be shared. We both have our own entrances to it.
Oh, that would
but
be
it's all one big
cute.
space.
And you and I each have a secret door that we know where it is, and then we can go up and sit on the roof together at night and leave the boys
and watch the stars.
Yeah.
We could do like get sleeping bags and do our research up there.
Oh,
Have a
that
little
would be
like
so
secret
cute.
research place.
And we could bring the cats.
Oh yeah, okay. Screened in section.
Oh,
for us
it
and the cats
has
only.
to be screened in. Not
All
only
of
for the
the-
cats,
like,
but the mosquitoes.
It's screened in with hair.
You weave hair art. That'll
The
keep
bad
Alec
hair
out.
art, yeah.
Freaks.
Sorry you don't have, you're a new soul, I feel. You don't get it.
You don't get it. Sorry you don't have an unhealthy attachment style to your best friend where you make each other hair art.
Yeah, I'm waiting on mine.
And put it
I
on
did give you it. I
display.
gave you my own hair.
Yeah, your little hair.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
You
you're right,
have
you're
my
right,
DNA.
You're right.
You can clone me when I die.
I can clone you. If anything ever happens to you, I'm going to go to the cops and be like, use it.
Yeah.
Use the
You
hair.
have it.
I need one that none of them, it doesn't have your root on it, though. I need a single strand with the hair.
Here you go.
root.
I'll give it
Sound
to you
like a
right now.
Bigfoot hunter.
Are
To
you
get
ready?
the DNA, we need the root.
No, save it. Put it in a Ziploc because I'm going to lose that shit. Your
Ooh.
hair like stretched. Did it come out
There's
with the
2
root?
big pieces.
Your hair is so long, actually,
know.
though.
What is going
The
on?
root is not on here. You
It
did that
is.
for
It
it's not.
is.
No,
It
it's
is.
not. Cat, if your root is on here, you have the scrangliest little root I've ever seen.
Well, it felt like it's on there. It hurt.
It ain't. You need to do it when your hair's not in a freaking ponytail.
Alec hates us right now.
What if I was like, I just vacuumed Hayley. She put the one hair on the ground.
It was 2. To be fair,
Yeah.
I would be mad too.
And it's long. I'm so sorry, Alec.
For what?
I don't know. He
I'm
just looks
mad.
mad at
For
us.
putting hair art on our media center.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are gonna fight after this. You do look
No,
kind
we're
of
not
mad.
gonna fight. We're gonna
No,
make dinner.
we gotta make that hella fresh.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm hungry.
Oh, I broke the rule. We're not supposed to talk about being hungry. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
just did it.
I've gotten
Back to
that
the
talk
lesson.
a few times.
Yeah, you always get talks. I would love to know what the talks would be if you actually gave me talks, Alec, because I don't get the talks. You know?
You don't want
Am
the
I
talks.
perfect?
Yeah.
No, I know I'm definitely not. I say so much stupid things.
Smart things.
Smart, yes. Positive
Yeah,
self-talk.
positive self-talk.
That was a talk.
Yeah, I got that talk publicly. I don't
I
want to
feel
just sound
there's
like
so
Alec
much-
Chastas.
Yeah.
He's our producer. He gives us tips.
Yeah,
In a
feedback.
nice,
I got that
respectful
talk
way.
publicly means in the night classy thread with Hayley.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to think I was yelling at Kat in public.
No.
They were screaming at each other in a bar.
Oh my God.
We haven't been to a bar in so long.
No.
And before they think I was being mean, I was saying we shouldn't have negative self-talk where we're saying I'm dumb on the show.
It's totally reasonable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree completely. Okay. And it was not mean, and I don't mean it to sound like Alec was being mean to
not
me
at all.
I just didn't want that to go unexplained on the air because it sounded like I yelled at you for something.
Good call.
Okay.
Yeah, Alec does not yell.
No.
He's very passive-aggressive about it.
Yeah, I text, hey guys, I'm editing, and you guys keep calling yourselves dumb a lot. I don't think it's good for the show.
Or our psyches.
Yes.
No, Alec is great. We're all great. Everything's good.
I love
Back
hair
to the
art.
lesson. There we go. You just have to speak it into existence.
This is positive hair art talk.
Hey, Alec just can't talk negative about anything anymore. Okay, so anyway, they constructed a mansion. They're living together forever. The sisters had a room for each of them. It had in total 14 rooms. It was modeled after a princess castle. It even had the first indoor bathroom in the county in it. Yes.
Dang.
That's the connection between the two.
Yeah.
Bathrooms.
It was also like the same time period.
It was. Yeah.
Across the
It
globe.
was like a handoff. Mm-hmm. And the pets were fucking spoiled.
The pets?
The
What kind of
pets. They had dogs and turkeys, obviously.
They had turkeys?
I think they started just having turkeys, you know?
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I think I read that. I didn't include it in my notes, but I think I did read something about that. But it's
Oh my
only in
God.
one source. So you know how you see something in one source and
Yeah, and
almost
you're not
every
sure
source
about it.
says the same thing. So then one gets a wild card
Yeah.
and you're like, what are you?
But I bet they did have turkeys. Reminds them
hope
of their
so.
childhood.
Yeah. So the dogs had winter and summer wardrobes. Yeah. Yeah. It
Oh
was
my
amazing.
God.
And when one of their dogs died, they had a full on funeral for it. They spent $500 on its casket. They had flowers and published an obituary in the newspaper.
Do we know, A, what kind of dog it was, and B, what its name was?
No.
Dang it.
I didn't
Okay,
include that either.
that's okay.
I'm sorry. We could probably find out though. There were tons of parties put on by the Sutherland sisters, and they typically concluded with firework displays.
They sound amazing.
I know. I want to hang out with
love them.
so bad. They did not let their hair go to waste. Apparently, when they brushed it out, you know, like the Victorian women do, they would save their hair. But the difference between them and the average people was that their hair was like 7 feet long. So they would save it, and they made 3-foot tall mannequins out of their hair.
No.
And they were modeled after each of them.
Oh, do you have a picture?
No, I couldn't
What?
find any pictures. So that's what makes me think like this is allegedly like maybe it's not true.
Yeah, that seems like a stretch, but I really hope it's
I
true.
want it to be true so bad. All of this grandiosity added up. Their public image was of good, holy, pure Christian girls. Privately, they were insane. They indulged in love triangles, infighting, drug use, and poor financial decisions.
How could you not?
When you have that much money, I
Yeah.
think that that's just the natural turn of events.
I'm obsessed with them.
They're so cool.
I need their creepy portraits hung on my wall immediately.
And get this, Alec will break up with you. Don't do that. Look at this. Rumors swirled around town that the sisters were practicing witchcraft.
Of fucking course. They are the best.
I think they probably were.
Probably. I mean, of course
How could
they
you not?
were. Of course they were. You can't have hair that long and not be a witch.
Yeah, there was no serum. It was all witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi died when she was 40 years old, the year that the mansion was complete. Unfortunately, she didn't get to enjoy that. The sisters, though, were still touring in the circus, so they quickly started the search for her replacement, and they found a winner. Anna Louise Roberts had 9 feet of hair, so they brought in a replacement for their sister and kept on keeping on.
Why on earth would you have millions of dollars and still be touring with a circus?
Because they spent the money so fast
yeah.
that they had to keep working.
Fair enough.
Other people traveled with the sisters as well. One was this French guy. He was a nobleman named Frederick Castlemaine who courted Dora, but actually ended up marrying Isabella.
Rude.
Yeah. But I think that they were all just sharing him.
Yeah.
Okay. Isabella was 10 years older, or at least 10 years older than his seniors. Some of the sisters were not sure how old they are, but several of them really liked to date much younger men. And Frederick had a few eccentricities of his own. And this was the article's nice way of saying that he was addicted to opium, morphine, and his pastime was sitting on the front porch and shooting the spokes out of wagon wheels.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When the farmers came, because it was typically farmers passing by with their wagons, and the farmers came up and they'd be like, what the fuck? And he'd just pay them off. He'd be like, go buy yourself a new wagon. Like, whatever.
Oh my God. What a dick.
Yeah. And trigger warning here for self-harm. In 1897, Frederick actually, he ended up completing suicide while on tour with the sisters. And instead of embalming him right away, the sisters put his body in a glass case and they would go like visit it on a daily basis. It took 10 days before the smell got so strong. Health officials came to the house and they're like, y'all, we gotta bury this guy.
What the hell? Okay.
Witchcraft, right? I don't know if that constitutes witchcraft. That's a stretch, but weird stuff.
Definitely weird.
Definitely weird. It's like maybe that's too far in the weird direction.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
a
why
little
they
much
did that.
for me.
Some of the sisters,
Maybe
like
they're making tonic out of him. That's why their hair smelled so bad.
Oh no! Yeah, they took the rest of the life out of him and just squeezed it out.
Yeah.
This is so disrespectful. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Some of the sisters did like the younger men. Some didn't. When Victoria was 50 years old, she married a 19-year-old boy.
Oh my God.
The other sisters were disgusted by this.
Yeah.
Kicked her out of the family and ostracized her for the rest of her life.
Good for them.
No, that's too far. That's too far.
No.
She died 2 years later. Like, you're going to tell me the end of her life was spent being kicked out by her family just because she had a guy who was 31 years younger than her?
If you're 50 and dating a 19-year-old, you're a creep and you should get kicked out of the mansion.
I don't know. I don't think they should have gone that far.
That's creepy. That's a boy.
It is a boy. That's fair. I don't know. I just feel bad for her.
Why?
And because she died 2 years later. I mean, I guess
we all
fine.
die.
I know. I just think.
I guess he was of legal age, but like that's
he was
creepy.
of legal age, and that's pretty against the grain for you to be a Victorian woman and to be like,
yeah,
this
I guess
cougar. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Nonetheless, they found a replacement for her. Anna Haney started traveling with the Sutherland Sisters. She was the new Sutherland sister. Mary's mental illness, however, got increasingly worse. She became more and more antisocial, often threatening her family with spells. And when she did that, they would lock her in her room, which locked from the outside.
Oh no.
This is, it's like they peaked there early on.
Yeah.
And now things are just going down.
Not a healthy dynamic.
Not only would they lock her in there, but it would be for extended periods of time. So much so that her door had a slot put in it for like food trays.
Oh my God.
It was
She's
bad.
a man in the iron masking it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Ooh.
Sarah died in 1919, and the sisters again kept her body on display in their home before burying her.
What is with that?
I have no clue.
And how do they have just glass cases big enough for a body?
They were fucking rich.
Yeah, but even if you're fucking rich, where do you get that?
No clue. Maybe they chopped it up first.
Ooh.
The sisters were not the only things dying. Hair trends were dying too. Of course, we're coming into the 1920s.
Oh no.
Flappers were chopping their hair
Not
off.
the flappers.
And they began the bob era, leading to a plummet in the Sutherland sisters' hair grower sales. Their riches were dwindling. They had almost no money. The remaining sisters traveled to Los Angeles to pitch their story to Hollywood. But on their way, Dora was killed in a tragic car accident, and Mary and Grace were the only ones left. They were so broke, they didn't even have money to bury their sister, and they just never claimed her body.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they when I tell you they burned through that money, they set that shit on fire. Mary and Grace had to abandon their mansion, and by 1936, they were completely out of business. The empty mansion ended up catching fire in 1938, destroying a huge collection of Sutherland sisters' documents and artifacts. Mary was committed to the Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane, where she died in 1939, and Grace died in 1946 at 92 years old and was buried in an unmarked grave.
Whoa. That is so sad.
Quite the roller coaster.
Yeah. They really had a moment there.
They
where
did.
Things were going well.
I know.
And it all ended.
It seems like they had fun.
They
while
did.
They were having fun.
I think they live life to the fullest.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tale of the Sutherland sisters. My sources are Untangling the Tale of the Seven Sutherland Sisters and Their 37 Feet of Hair by Lisa Hicks on Collectors Weekly. New England Today, Sutherland Sisters article by Diane L. Samarco. How Seven Sisters Made a Fortune Off Their Rapunzel-like Hair by Maria Recapito on Atlas Obscura. HistoryDaily.org for all of the pictures, and the Wikipedia page for Sarah Rachel Russell.
Thank you for
You're
that amazing
welcome.
learning journey. Yeah.
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 We're going to get so many bad reviews just because of that.
I'm
What
so
just
sorry.
happened? I'm sorry.
90% of the bad reviews are because of my annoying voice.
But the good
My
ones are
bad.
because we're good, I think. Good enough.
Guess. Yeah, this is a good segue. If you're listening and you don't hate me, leave us a 5-star review because people don't like the way I talk and I can't fucking help it. So,
Oh, God. End it now. Rate, review, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok. Alec runs a Twitter, or did run it. We do things on social media. Twitter's
Don't know.
scary now. If you want to support the show beyond just listening to it, which is enough in itself, please know that. I'm taking over the end of the show now.
You're doing it way better than I've ever done. Keep going.
Rate, review, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on TikTok. We post, here and there. It comes in waves.
It does.
But tag us on. I love when you all tag us in videos. That is what I love the most about TikTok, is when you guys are like, oh, the Night Classy girls would love this. So do that. Keep up the good work. We love you all so, so, so much.
You
Ready?
rest?
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Class dismissed.
Oh, that was weird. I liked it.
I liked it too.
Do it more. I loved that.